The door to my new life didn't just open. It was cracked open by a desperate knock. I hadn't seen them in over a decade. My son Leo and his wife Sarah stood there. They were on the porch of my luxury farmhouse. Their smiles were tight and hollow. They tried to hide the financial terror in their eyes. I watched them in silence. The expensive clothes they once wore were gone. They looked faded and tired. Behind me was my new lounge. A massive window framing acres of olive trees. Sunlight hitting my marble fireplace. This house was my serenity. This house was earned with my own sweat and tears. Leo's voice finally cracked. "Ma, can we talk?" That one word, talk. It was a hook to pull me back into their trap. But years of silence is not just a conversation. It is a deep wound that never fully healed. Years of being erased from their lives. Christmases cooked for one. Birthdays spent with a store-bought cake for one. As if I was never a mother. My daughter-in-law Sarah had won the battle back then. She saw my love for my son as a threat. She wanted total control. So she cut me out. It was subtle at first. The forgotten phone calls. The missed family gatherings. Next time Ma Leo is busy at work. Those excuses were a wall I couldn't climb. When I called, Leo rarely answered. And when he did, he sounded defensive. "Don't meddle in our lives, Ma." Then came the ultimate pain. The graduation of my first grandson. I was not invited. I cried for weeks in my tiny cold apartment. I was counting coins for bread. While they were traveling and buying new cars. I was invisible to them. Until their luck finally ran out. But loneliness became my fuel. I realized I had a choice. Drown in sorrow or swim to the shore. I chose survival. I started baking organic bread and pastries. 4 a.m. mornings. Crates too heavy for my old back. I stood under the sun at the local market. But those strangers saw my worth. They valued my hard work. Every coin I earned was my freedom. I met a woman named Sarah at the market. Her children had also forgotten her. Children forget parents until there is a crisis, she warned. Then the invisible mom becomes a target. Her words were a warning I would soon need. My business grew slowly but surely. I was finally making enough to live. Then a phone call from a lawyer changed everything. It wasn't family. It was about a distant relative who had been watching me. Uncle Isaac had moved away decades ago. He was a ghost in our family tree. But he had seen my betrayal. He had seen my resilience. He left everything to me. The inheritance was staggering. Land, businesses, and wealth. I was no longer a beggar in my own family. But it wasn't the money that moved me. It was his final letter. Live the life they tried to steal from you. With his wealth, I bought this farmhouse. I made it my sanctuary. For months, I lived in total peace. The salt breeze and olive leaves were my only companions. Until the ghosts of my past returned to my doorstep. Back in the lounge. Leo cleared his throat nervously. "Ma, we are so happy you are doing well." His eyes were calculating the value of my furniture. "Life is expensive lately." Ma, we are struggling. We were hoping you could help for the kids.
The ultimate weapon, the innocent children.
Sarah started crying on cue. Ma, we made mistakes. We want to be a family again. The performance was almost good. But I leaned forward with a calm heart.
You want to be a family again?
Did you miss me on those lonely birthdays? Did you miss me when I watched the graduation from a public bench?
No. You missed the convenience of my money. You are not here for love, you are here for my wallet.
Leo's desperation turned into rage. You are punishing us. You have all this money and you won't help. I didn't blink. I am not punishing them. I am protecting my peace.
I walked to my desk.
I wrote a check.
Not a fortune, just enough.
Enough to cover their immediate debt. I handed it to Leo. He grabbed it with greedy hands. Sarah saw the amount and looked disappointed. This is for the children's needs, I said firmly. And this is the last help you will ever get from me. Do not call. Do not come back.
My silence is now my final answer.
They stormed out of my house. Silence filled the rooms again. But it wasn't the silence of loneliness. It was the silence of freedom. I walked out onto the terrace.
The sun was high and bright.
I didn't need their approval anymore.
I had built a life on my own.
They thought my wealth made me vulnerable. But my real wealth was my self-respect. And that is something money can never buy. For the first time, I was not just free. I was finally whole.